This is one of the better ultrabooks that you can buy in the affordable segment. This is the HP Spectre XT. The box price is about 65,000 rupees, and the build quality, the performance and the overall package on offer is, between you and me, worth a lot more. Let's just start off with the build quality and kind of show you how the Spectre XT looks and feels like. This has a completely magnesium chassis, so this is not going to be, you won't find any rough edges all around. It's absolutely very well put together. On the lid is the brushed metal finish. If you look at the design hues all around this ultrabook, it's very similar to the HP NV4 that we reviewed some time back. However, this one is slimmer, smaller and much sleeker than that. The finish offered on this particular ultrabook is a brushed metal finish throughout. It does not catch any fingerprints, and even dust that sits on this ultrabook is not immediately visible. That's a good thing for people like me who have a bit of OCD apparently. Let's open this up. There you go. Here's the combination. The brushed metal finish here, the glossy plastic here around the display. We can't really make any sense of why laptop manufacturers do that. They could easily replicate this here, but they choose not to. In fact, honestly, this particular bezel is slightly better than a lot of the ultrabooks that we tested recently. So at least you have some solace there. The keyboard is very well laid out. It's very close to the keypad on the MacBook Air, and if you're using that, shifting here like I did, absolutely no issues. It was a seamless transition, which cannot be said for a lot of ultrabooks out there. Very good keyboard. Full points to HP for that. The Beats Audio logos here. This is the power key, slightly longer than usually it is. It lights up on one side. We'll just show you that a little later. However, if you notice the laptop screen hinge design, the design is pretty simple. There's nothing very different about it. It's very similar to what we saw in the HP NV4 also. However, once you open it up, you can clearly see that the screen sits quite a bit of distance away from the keyboard deck. Can't really see any significance of that apart from a design element prospect. The ports are on the side. It's a full-fledged Ethernet port here, which opens up like this. You have the HDMI out and a USB here. On the other side, you have the headphone jack 3.5mm, the memory card reader and another USB port. Nothing on the back. However, interestingly, let's just close it and show you the bottom of the ultrabook. The cooling vents here are very well laid out. So this is again reminiscent of the design of the vents that we saw on the Dell XPS 13 and the Dell XPS 14, and we kind of hope that the other laptop manufacturers would replicate that. They have. This one keeps the ultrabook very cool, fairly cool, and since it's a pretty wide vent, it won't really burn your thighs at all. This is where the warm air is blown out continuously. This is where the air goes in from, and it's slightly blown out from here as well. So that pretty much sets it up. This ultrabook comes with a 128GB SSD, which is quite rare for this particular price bracket. Usually you see a 500GB hard drive with an mSATA cache SSD like a 32GB one, which usually is the trend. So for people who really want performance from an SSD, this is the ultrabook to consider. So let's just turn up the brightness on this one, and so now this display is at full brightness. Incidentally, despite the fact that they're from the same family, the display between this and the HP NV4 is hugely different. This one has the advantage of better brightness punch throughout the brightness levels. Whatever setting you choose, this one has slightly more punch, and the text is sharper, so it's going to be better to read also. Let's just run you through some of the specs on this particular machine. This is powered by an Intel Core i5 processor, the Ivy Bridge family, 4 gigs of RAM. However, there is no graphics card in this one except for the Intel HD 4000 integrated one. The focus being on performance and not on gaming or graphics performance.